Y'all, they done booted me off. I don't know where I left off, because I realized when I came back to see how y'all were feeling about what I was saying, I saw Gray with the little sign saying that I was buffering. So I don't know where I left off. So I'm going to continue where I was. Let me I'm just going to go over the bullet points that I went over. Let's see. Because there are a lot of bullet points. So I talked about Mr. Dixon gave Miss Taylor undisputed as a reward for having schmecks with him. So here, in approximately March 2016, Ms. Farahi met Miss Taylor, an aspiring sports personality that had recently moved from Miami to Los Angeles for the opportunity of working at airtime on Fox. She says that basically in this one, she says she met her for drinks. They hit it off, and there was a man, an older man, that was meeting them for dinner. She didn't know who that older man was. He bought him rounds of spicy margaritas. She noticed him in the elevator of Fox, and she alerted Miss Taylor, and Miss Taylor explained to her who he was and told her to chill out. Hey, don't worry about that. Just continue to be friends. 2016, Miss Taylor got the job on Undisputed with Shannon and Skip. She was the third wheel on there. It's understood that, according to what she says in this lawsuit, Skip Bayliss did not want Miss Taylor on the show, but he was doing it as a favor to Mr. Dixon. She claims that Mr. Dixon groped her after putting her on Undisputed, and she talks about that. She talks about, again, because we're talking about that culture at Fox. Mr. Dixon got rid of a female talent member for refusing to have relations with him. So it's all this is going on in this according to this lawsuit. All of this type of behavior is going on at Fox. Says Mr. Bayliss began to give Miss Farahi lingering hugs and kisses to the cheek, and she said that she rebuffed him. She would do his hair and leave because she would give excuses like, I got to go pick up my son. She talked about her hours being cut after going on medical leave. She remained on Undisputed and was also asked to work on the whole herd because Miss Taylor was moved from Undisputed to the herd with Colin Cowherd. Miss Taylor again requested Miss Farahi to do her hair. Colin Cowherd. Mr. Cowherd also requested for Miss Farahi to do his hair. So she would do Skip Bayliss's hair, Miss Taylor's hair, and Mr. Cowherd's hair. Now, she says that Mr. Cowherd was professional and respectful and didn't bother her. So she was okay with him. Around this time, after learning Miss Taylor and Miss Taylor and Mr. Dixon's relationship, Miss Taylor's then fiance broke off the engagement and threatened to go public with all he knew. And apparently, to keep him silent, Mr. Dixon paid for wedding deposits, an informal exchange for the fiance's silence. So there was another person named Mr. Diaz who was the person who put the microphones on the talent. Apparently, he would mock how she spoke, her pronunciation of some English words, and would sexualize her eating fruit. She says that her her then supervisor, who was also present through all this, Miss Peretti, didn't do anything or didn't say anything. And on information and belief, Mr. Diaz openly gropes, harasses, and is inappropriate with women at Fox. Again, it's talking about laying the groundwork of the type of climate that was going on at Fox. And is it too hard to believe? No, because several other people have filed these types of lawsuits or complaints against Fox, particularly Fox News. And you remember there was a movie in regards to all of this going on. What was that man's name? Was it Ayers? Anyway, so let's get on. So it says here, make sure I'm not booted. Miss Taylor again uses her feminine wiles to get on a new show. In approximately February 2022, Miss Taylor asked Miss Ferrari to meet her for lunch in Beverly Hills. When Miss Ferrari arrived, she found Miss Taylor with the man, Emmanuel Acho. Miss Ferrari did not know Mr. Acho, but could tell that the two were romantically involved. A few months after meeting Mr. Acho at lunch, Miss Ferrari noticed that him in the hallways at work. So it looks like Miss Taylor and Miss Ferrari communicated regularly, ate lunch regularly, chewed the fat and all kinds of stuff like that regularly at that job. Miss Ferrari later asked Miss Taylor if Mr. Acho also worked at Fox. Miss Taylor confirmed and explained she wanted Mr. Acho to eventually recommend her on the show, Speak for Yourself. Miss Farahi became alarmed and warned Miss Taylor that she should probably not have relationships with Mr. Dixon and Mr. Acho at the same time, as Mr. Dixon is a very powerful man that may become angry. Miss Taylor told Miss Farahi not to worry about it. She explained that she was also now powerful, and once Mr. Dixon was no longer useful for her, she would follow through on her plan to tell the company that he forced himself on her, and she would not allow herself to be forced out by Mr. Dixon like other women talent. Whew. So Miss Taylor started work on Speak, and she requested that Miss Farahi do her hair. Miss Farahi is targeted because of her ethnicity, and we won't read all of that. Miss Farahi believes she has cancer and conveys this to Mr. Bayliss in an attempt to stop his advances, only to have him offer $1.5 million to have as an indecent proposal. Y'all, we're going to read this. Over the years, Mr. Bayliss continued to make advances on Miss Farahi. Miss Ferrari would always make excuses regarding her son, politely change the subject, or make a joke, anything to keep Mr. Bayliss appeased and her job safe. On July 2021, Miss Ferrari developed issues with her left ovary and was advised it could be cancer. With a fourth biopsy scheduled, she explained her situation to Mr. Bayliss, hoping that he would take pity on her and cease his advances. Instead, Mr. Bayliss told her he wanted to be with her. Miss Ferrari panicked and began rambling that there were cameras everywhere that she has as a child and that she does not want him. Mr. Bayliss then grabbed her hands, began kissing them, and offered her $1.5 million to have relations with her. Miss Ferrari made an excuse to leave. Approximately 1 week later, Mr. Bayliss made another advance. Miss Ferrari responded, "Skip, stop, you have a wife." Mr. Bayliss responded, "Aren't you Muslim? Doesn't your dad have 3 to 4 wives?" And y'all, what all of this again, this is what's alleged in the lawsuit. But why can't I just see him saying some mess like that? Miss Ferrari responded that her father was dead, and when Mr. Bayliss looked taken aback, she made an excuse to leave. Ms. Ferrari's job is threatened because she did not sleep with Mr. Bayliss. On April 12, 2012, Mr. Bayliss texted Ms. Ferrari, "I'm good today." The text meant that he would not be coming in for his hair or makeup. On April 13th, Mr. Bayliss texted Ms. Ferrari, "Not comfortable coming down there. Just do what you need to do. It's okay." Ms. Ferrari asked him what was wrong. He replied, "Same stuff. Worse." Ms. Ferrari, concerned about her own job, walked to Mr. Bayliss' fitting room to see if everything was okay. Mr. Bayliss answered the door, and before Ms. Ferrari could speak, he began to angrily accuse Ms. Ferrari of effing Mr. Sharp. Miss Ferrari tried to explain that she did not have any feelings towards Mr. Sharp and had never had slept with him or any other talent member or employee at Fox. But before she could speak, Mr. Bayliss demanded she come to his car after the show. She responded that she could not come and sit in his car. It was inappropriate. He grew irate and then left. On April 14, Mr. Bayliss texted Ms. Ferrari, if you're distracted tomorrow, I'll wait till Monday, but I can't keep doing this." Ms. Ferrari told him that she was very confused. Mr. Bayliss responded, "Trust me, I'm far more confused." Ms. Ferrari then explained over text that she is not sleeping with Mr. Sharp. Mr. Bayliss did not respond. So I'm a little in confusion here, because I'm not understanding. I hear her saying about her job, but I'm not understanding why she feels the need to text him this information. April 15th, he asked her, "Do you still want to text? Do you still want to do the haircut or just move on?" She did not. Ms. Ferrari responded that she doesn't want to move on from her job and that she will continue to do his hair. Mm, mm, mm. April 16th, Mr. Bayliss calls Ms. Ferrari. Ms. Ferrari did not answer the call because she was scared. Then she called him back 10 minutes later. On the call, he began angrily accusing her of having relations with Mr. Sharp and said that he could tell from her body language that she was having relations with him. Ms. Ferrari tried to explain that she was kind to all talent, and that included laughing and engaging in conversation. Ms. Ferrari then asked if he was yelling at her because she refused to go to his car. Mr. Bayliss answered that she shouldn't talk to him like that. Ms. Ferrari replied that she could respond however she wanted. Mr. Bayliss then angrily stated that he had heard her talk to Mr. Sharp about her, quote, vagina. Ms. Ferrari knew this was untrue and was embarrassed and angry. Ms. Ferrari responded that even if she had been dating Mr. Sharp, which she wasn't, it shouldn't matter at all because she only had a professional relationship with Mr. Bayliss. On April 17th, 2022, Ms. Ferrari arrived in the makeup room, approximately 12 feet by 30 feet, containing 3 makeup and hair sections. Turned on a recording device, put it on the table, and waited for Mr. Bayliss to arrive. In the meantime, 2 of Ms. Ferrari's co-workers who were privy to Mr. Bayliss' actions went into other talent members' room adjacent to the makeup room to listen in to the conversation. Mr. Bayliss, oh Lord, they done set up a sting on Mr. Bayliss. Mr. Bayliss then arrived in the makeup room for Ms. Ferrari to cut his hair in accordance with his regular schedule. Mr. Bayliss knew that the makeup room was always recorded and clearly state, "This room is bugged." During their conversation, Mr. Bayliss stated that he would hate for her to lose her job, but she can't be doing a big thing with my arch rival. She responded by reiterating that being polite to Mr. Sharp is part of her job. Mr. Bayliss responded, "BS, BS, BS. I'm calling BS on you." Mr. Bayliss then warned that he doesn't want her to lose her job over this. Ms. Ferrari responded that she wasn't going to lose her job because she's a great hairdresser. Mr. Bayliss responded, I have love for you. I have for 6 years, and you hurt me, and you're ruining things." Ms. Farahi again responded that she must be polite to all talent. Mr. Bayliss then implied that if he stopped requesting her, it would affect her job. Ms. Ferrari responded that she is scheduled to work every morning at 5:45 a.m. and if he would like to get his hair done, he is welcome to sit in her chair. Mr. Bayliss continued to threaten her job. Ms. Farahi knew that he was trying to pressure her into having sex with him, but she kept repeating that she was a professional that had to be kind to all talent. On April 21st, 2022, Mr. Bayliss asked if Ms. Farahi would come to his home to color his hair, a side job that Ms. Ferrari previously would partake when Mr. Bayliss' wife was home. On this occasion, with her therapist's help, she conveyed that she could no longer be going with her to his home. Okay, good. She was going to therapy at that time. The following week, Mr. Bayliss arrived in the makeup room as if their conversations never happened, but Ms. Ferrari remained on edge. Ms. Ferrari had worsening nightmares regarding the incidents that took place with Mr. Bayliss. Ms. Ferrari's therapist started using eye movement desensitization and reprocessing to talk her through her interactions with Mr. Bayliss. Says she was targeted because of her ethnicity and disability. We're going to keep going. Ms. Farahi participated in an internal investigation only to be singled out, taken off speak, and accused of having uh, relations with Mr. Bayliss. In mid-July 2023, Anna Drucker, Fox Sports Vice President of Employee Relations, asked Ms. Ferrari for a meeting. At the meeting, Ms. Drucker asked if Ms. Taylor was having a relationship with Mr. Acho. Ms. Ferrari admitted that the two were in a relationship. Ms. Ferrari shared this information because she didn't think it was a big deal, and because she didn't think Ms. Taylor or Mr. Acho would physically harm her for providing this information. Wrong move. Girl. On July 31st, 2023, Kelsey Doe, Miss Doe of Employee Relations asked Ms. Ferrari for a meeting. At the meeting, Ms. Doe told Ms. Ferrari that there had been complaints of her humming. Ms. Ferrari explained that her humming is an involuntary subconscious coping mechanism for her diagnosed PTSD and that everyone at Fox knew she hummed. Ms. Ferrari further explained that she has been humming since she was a child and has been humming her entire tenure at Fox. Her humming was exacerbated in stressful situations, and although she hates it and wants it to stop, she does not even realize when she's humming. Ms. Ferrari further explained that if anyone was now complaining, they were only doing so to hurt and to embarrass her. And it goes on and it goes on, but we went over all the pertinent information about Skip and his we went over all of Skip and his indecent proposals. We went over that she told the people that Taylor and Acho was having a relationship, and that all this other stuff. Y'all, what's going on over there at Fox? I tell you, I'm going to try to do what I'm going to do is try to combine the two lives together, because I don't know when it cut out, because I was so enthralled in what I was reading. I don't know when it cut out, but I just wanted to go over briefly. I didn't want to spend too much time with it. I just wanted to go over briefly about what's going on over there at Fox. Fox is at this point, if their human resources department and if their higher ups and or their shareholders do not get a handle on this over here, they're going to find themselves in several different lawsuits, and it may end up to the point almost bankrupting the company. They really need to get a hold of that environment over there. They need to have a no nonsense or whatever policy. If anybody is, anybody comes up under this after they do an investigation, they need to go ahead and get rid of them. And while they're doing the investigation, they need to take that talent off the air. or sideline that executive or something, because it's sounding like they have not cleaned up their culture. It looks like they probably cleaned it up in the news department, but they have not cleaned that culture up in the in the sports departments over there at Fox. So what are y'all thinking about all of this? Y'all please hit that like button for me. Y'all, a mess. So y'all, it is messy. This is so messy. And Joy Taylor in her Coochie Chronicles allegedly spreading it low. Or what is it? Dropping it low and spreading it wide so that she can get on here. Went through 2 relationships in regards to that. And in one relationship, there was a monetary extra exchange to keep the fiance quiet. And I've been watching like clips on TikTok, and I saw a clip where someone had like, like combined all these clips where she even made a statement like, no one's going to ever know who I'm sleeping with. And then there was a clip of the Acho guy, Emmanuel Acho, with singing her praises. He was sitting in a car doing some kind of, I guess he was doing a live in the car. And he was singing her praises, how, she's a woman in this business and she has been able to move and get this position on her merits and all this other stuff. Meanwhile, is he married or is he single? I'm not sure what his marital status is. Meanwhile, it's alleged that she got that position because she was having relationships with you. Messy, 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 messy. All of this is messy. So there is a class action suit and so there's other people who are suing as well in this, I guess, in this class action suit. And then Miss Farahi is suing individually for the stuff that she had to go through. And you have how what is the word? I can't think of the word. Because nasty, uncaring, filthy, if there's a word that meets all of that, what I'm about to say. Someone is sitting here talking about that they possibly might have ovarian cancer. And then you offer them $1.5 million to have relations with her. Gross, gross, gross. And I say gross because I know people who have had that type of cancer and they are in pain. They are in pain. And to be so selfish to want to be, and like I said, all this is alleged in the complaint. Gross. So we're gonna see what they do over there at Fox. I'm telling you, Joy, all this stuff, if outlined, it comes out to be what's going on, honey, you're gonna have to take a big old L. Big old L. You're gonna have to take a big old L. The people that participated with you in all of these shenanigans, they're gonna have to take an L as well. Mr. Dixon, an L. Acho, an L. Anybody else that she was over there flying with, an L. I saw a TikTok or I think it was a tweet. I can't remember which one it was when I was just researching for this, but they were saying "Joy to the world." I'm like, yeah, sometimes we can be so unserious. It could be some very a serious thing, but exactly. You get a pink slip. You get a pink slip. You get a pink slip. Everybody should get pink slip. That whole executive All of them should be gone. All the talent that participated should be gone. A mess. And again, like I said, the time frame. I don't know when the time frame that Shannon Sharp left there, but I'm wondering with Skip Bayless, because you remember when Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless had that little back and forth and back and forth. I'm wondering, did that have anything to do with Skip thinking that what was that was April? Give me one moment. I'm trying to think. That was April 2021. Let me see. So her relationship with Miss Taylor ended in October 2021. So April 20, it was in April 2022. So when did Shannon Sharp and April 20, when did Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless have that blowout on TV that was reported? Do anybody remember? Was that 2021? Because I don't know when he because I knew he had Club Shay Shay, so I don't know when he started doing full time with Club Shay Shay. 2022? Okay. 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 Because like I said, I don't have the time frame for things. You know how things just come down your timeline and you look at it and you were like, oh, but I remember there was this big brouhaha about Skip and because I know it had something to do with Tom Brady. And Skip Bayless made some little statement about Tom Brady and him and Shannon Sharp were going back and forth in regards to it. So that's why I was like, I wondered was this whole situation and happening around that time, and why Skip was having some issues with Shannon Sharp. But okay, all right, yeah. Well, that would be if it was 2022 or 2023. He went off on her. Well, hold on. No, it was 2022. Excuse me. Yeah, it was April 2022. All of this was going on. He was going off on her in April 2022. I hate that she didn't give us context. I wish she would have given us uh context as to what was going on with the show or what particular shows were going on there so we could have some context, but she didn't. And like I said, she was thinking about what was going on with her. She didn't need to do that, but just for me to have context. So this was, if it was 2022, this was around the time that Skip and Shannon was having that issue. But like I said, I don't know when he left, and I don't know when he started Club Shay Shay. I don't know when he started. Hold on, y'all. So the podcast debuted September 20th, 2020. So he's had the podcast for a while. And so it blew up in 2024. January 2023 is when he left, when Shannon left the show. Yeah, Club Shay Shay didn't get big until after Cat Williams. Right, because I remember he had other, he had other guests and stuff like that, and I know it was on YouTube that he had it on YouTube. So he left Undisputed in 2023. So it's plausible that all of that tension happened around that time because of what's going on within this incident. I don't know. But anyway, y'all, we do this every week. We do this every week. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video if you care. Anything else that comes up, I may do a recording of the full reading of it. It's 42 pages, so that means it'll probably take right at an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, if I'm just reading and I'm not stopping, but and doing any commentary. But I may read the whole thing and record it and put it up. But don't hold me to it. I think I've read it. I think we've read enough between the Variety article and the lawsuit itself. If you want to have a copy of the article, and if you want a copy of the complaint, there you go. That's with the Variety, and there is a hyperlink in the Variety article that will take you to the complaint if you want to be able to look at it yourself. All right, people, we do this every week. Please like, comment, and subscribe, y'all. Please tell a friend, tell a kin, tell a coworker, tell that heifer that you can't stand that I'm over here making these videos. And as always, people, bye-bye. And y'all don't get caught up in stuff like this on y'all's jobs, because this don't make no kind of sense.